Hey guys, I am filming. So today is going to be a little bit of a different theme video. I was interviewed by a local college in the fashion marketing department, and I just wanted to share what we've talked about, my struggles as a YouTuber, my situation at the moment, why I've been saying that I might not be able to pursue YouTube any longer. And if you're interested, I encourage you to watch this video. I'm going to be covering how did I start, why did I start a YouTube channel, how much I earn, and if you're interested in pursuing your own channel, like what were the things that I faced and how it actually works from within. And I will also talk about why I'm thinking of quitting.
Tell me about how you started.
It all started after having my two kids. They're kind of back to back. So I was wearing maternity clothes all the time. And once I had my kids, I was like, I can't spend money on myself. I'm a bad mom for taking care of myself rather than investing the money into the kids. And then it kind of like went into this like just mom world, me forgetting about myself. I was pretty young, so I didn't have my degree there. So it didn't really make sense for me to go to work to pay all of my earnings to a daycare facility. And we decided that I'm gonna stay home, I'm gonna be with kids, I'm gonna teach them Russian. And because like we live in like a smaller community, we didn't really have much to go. Like maybe we would go to a park, maybe we'd go to like a grocery store, but that is pretty much all that I had for like 6 years. Yeah. So I was stuck in these maternity clothes and I had no idea where fashion has gone to. And I've decided to start researching about fashion and what the hell is going on in the fashion industry, just so I kind of knew like what to buy, what to avoid, because I was limited in my resources. Like I couldn't really go out there and buy a bunch of stuff. And then after that, I was like, oh, like I might as well share it with somebody. And that is when I decided to start my own YouTube channel and talk about the trends. So maybe somebody who had like weight change, maybe they've gone through a huge change in their life where they're maybe now interested in fashion and want to know like what's going on, or they have like dramatic body changes, like they had a kid, they gained weight, or the other way around, they lost a bunch of weight, so now they have to redo their entire closet. And that is what that's exactly the reason I started. I wanted to inspire people to try something new, to experiment, and aligned with that, be more conscious about their body and the fact that not every trend is going to be for them, and that's okay. So I really wanted to make this channel not about consumption and buying something new, but rather than how can I use whatever I have in my closet in order to maybe spice things up, maybe find a new way of styling, maybe inspirational videos.
Love that. Yeah.
And so I started to show people that, hey, you don't have to buy anything new. Like, see these runway shows. So I would put like a clip of the runway show and then clip of myself, like trying to recreate it from what I have in my closet. It was very time consuming and house consuming, because whenever I needed to like find these pieces out of my closet, it was kind of like everywhere. It was explosion of clothing. I needed to like put it back in. My husband didn't like it. We had a few arguments about that. So I decided to keep YouTube only to talk about the trends, because it is a long medium kind of content. And I decided to keep my Instagram separate as a kind of a diary of my own personal style. I really don't want to make a copy of my YouTube on my Instagram. I want it to be kind of like a little chapter that people can go and find out a little bit more if they're interested. While I feel like the short content, yes, the reels are great, and I kind of do shorts whenever I have the time to kind of break it up. Maybe not everybody has 40 minutes to watch my video, but I don't feel like it shows the grand picture of things. So it's more like, this is the trend, follow it. While the video is more like, here is an array of trends and you decide which one you like.
Like
So
different interpretations of a trend, or how to still like look like you're part of, the fashion world
mhm.
with these little snippets that you're using. That's part of what I found in your videos, is that, it's there are a lot of, even if you don't mean to, but just by how you're explaining how it evolved, or where it's leaning from, or how different houses of fashion and different brands interpret it, and how you can interpret it in your own, it gives you like these little minute tips on how to use a trend without being, abused by the trend. Because
Yes,
these people sometimes really trying to follow a trend and it's going nowhere, right?
I remember this back in the like when I just started thinking about fashion, and I was like, I want to wear this trend, but it just looks horrible on me. And I kind of was like beating my body up for not fitting it, while the trend just wasn't for me. It wasn't for my body. It's not meant to be, and that's okay. I sometimes mention that trends are like couches. So if you have a big couch and you have a small apartment, it's not gonna look great there, you know? Or maybe it's like a weird pattern, like you need a particular room to fit that couch in.
So true. Words, I love it. Trends are like couches. I think that's perfect. If I look at Maria, I see two separate identities. Like there's the Maria on YouTube, who's this authority, who comes with a very approachable way to converse, but also with a lot of research. And it's very evident that the videos that you post have a lot of editing. You've, watched all of the catwalks. You're very into what's going on right now. You're very well versed in the different, words and elements. So when you're watching these 20 to 40-minute videos, you're getting a lot of buck for your time, right? It's very obvious. And on the other side, I see the Instagram, which is more personal. It's the day in the life of Maria. It can be a shot at university. It can be you at the beach, using you and your body as the canvas to show different ways and inspire, like you said, inspire women to be more creative in how they dress. And there I see less of a following, less of an engagement, maybe I would say. So you're a mother as well, so I can say this, you're looking at these two children that you've created in the world of internet. How would you analyze that? And how do you feel? I mean, are you pleased with where they are? Do you want to merge them? Do you want to keep them apart? Do you want to adopt one of them, send them for adoption? I don't know.
I don't consider Instagram as a platform to earn money. Like it's just there for fun. It's there for my diary of clothing, inspiration because I'm a mid-size. It's really hard for me to find anything that fits me. I kind of try to create a little bit of a kind of a here we go. You can still be trendy, maybe even if you are not the right size, even if you don't really have the finances for it, because I honestly don't really spend that much on my wardrobe, just because I can't.
Yeah.
So I go thrifting
feels.
all the time. I just
The
try
kids
to
get
figure out.
everything.
Yeah, I just rewear what I have, maybe try to style it differently. Yeah, so definitely Instagram is much harder to grow just because there's so many people that are already there. There's so many people who have cameras in their phones. They can click it, post it, and be done with it, right? There's so much content that is bombarded. While YouTube, it kind of weaves the weaklings out because it took me a year to grow to 1,000 subscribers. First 1,000 subscribers you start to earn money. So can you imagine putting a video out weekly, not getting anything back from it? It weaves people out because people don't have the time for it. People would rather go to work, earn money. It's hard to get yourself out there. YouTube doesn't know that your content is worthy enough to push out because you have such a small subscriber base. And well, you're still new. I was definitely not as well versed back then. I kind of learned as I go. I kind of see these YouTubers that grow like from 0 to a million in a year.
100K, right? That
And I'm
looks
like, well,
impossible.
what am I doing wrong, right? I know that I'm a fun person to be around, but I don't think it's enough. So I try to push with the content, the quality of it, because I don't think that there is a channel like my own on YouTube at the moment. If somebody is talking about trends, that will show maybe 5 photos of a trend and just talk the rest of the way through, while I give like almost every single example of it, like time constraint, of course, and show the ability of wearing it in different ways, styling it differently. So I was trying to grow due to my quality of work rather than anything else.
I actually found you through YouTube first and then got into your Instagram channel.
Yeah.
And only when I knew you from your YouTube did I get your Instagram. I think there's something about the Instagram, if it's standalone, it's not as in depth. It's because again, you don't have, it's not the medium to, you can shoot videos of yourself talking to your audience on Instagram. You can do that kind of media, but you went into the fashion, like, here, look how I'm dressing, look at my vibe, a little bit of explaining, like, what did you want to do today? But it's not the same. It's like the difference between opening a newspaper or opening a novel, so when you open the newspaper, you just want to flash through the news. That's Instagram. When you open YouTube, you want to read a chapter in the novel. So I feel that your personality comes through much more through your videos.
I agree. Also heard that from one of my friends, that she first saw me on Instagram because we had a mutual friend, and she said that on Instagram you come off very kind of like snobby and like super rich.
I love that. I didn't get that. Okay.
No, well, maybe because you saw my YouTube first, right? So you got
see?
my personality and then you went back. But
True.
I have one of those resting bee faces.
Yeah, you do. You have this beautiful, very, very clean, cold look, what can you do? You have to wear it well, we get what we get.
Yeah, so she's like, at first I thought you were like this really cold, rich person, but now that I met you, it's completely different person. So I try to put that to mind when I post, because yes, we choose however we want to see ourselves, right? So I'm like this bubbly person that usually looks like a fool in like a setting, but like I want to see myself the strong woman that is like kind of like in control of her life. So I post that on Instagram, and like many others do, like the highlight reels, the really good topics of their lives. While YouTube, like, you can't really hide, you can't really put that facade, because people will see it and they will realize that this is not real and they will not engage with it.
I love that. It's basically saying, look, on Instagram, you can just give a facade. You can create a character which is far from who you actually are. It's easy to control. It's very short, concise, and immediate. But if you go onto YouTube and you're the writer, the narrator, the editor, the director, everything, and the main event character, if you need to keep that facade constantly, it won't hold. It's much easier to feel that you're not genuine through that. And I agree. I actually feel that's such a nice point. I didn't even think about it that way, but that might explain why you come off more accessible and relatable, and even just, again, extremely knowledgeable. What do you make when you reach 1,000?
All right, so it depends on the content you share and what kind of niche you have.
Oh, so it's per view even. It's not, you don't have to really engage in the video. You don't have to like
but
it.
Engagement will give the opportunity for YouTube to show your video to others. So engagement is a way to show YouTube that this content is quality, that it should be kind of promoted more, right? So it would put it on people's For You pages kind of thing, maybe.
Who'll be on the side there, maybe you want to watch this as well. So you're getting pennies for views once you reach 1,000.
Right now, I've calculated how much I've earned by creating the previous season. So you can see here, I've spent almost 577 hours on the 13 videos. So let's say that I'm spending approximately 45 hours per video. And I was trying to put those out weekly. So that is already a full-time job. I'm also a student, I have 2 kids, and I'm also working part-time, so that's difficult. And then if we take those hours and we divide the amount that I got paid by YouTube, which was approximately $3,383 in that time span, that will equal to almost $6 an hour, which is almost $10 less than minimum wage right now where I live.
Yes. And so how do you find moving from 1,000 to 24 change your life as a YouTuber?
Well, firstly, I started actually telling people in real life that I'm a YouTuber.
Love that. You are.
Nowadays, I feel like being a YouTuber or a social media person, that it's kind of frowned upon because nobody really understands what it is. They're like, oh, you're in it for easy money. I'm like, it's not easy. Like maybe like 20 years ago when it just started, like creators didn't make money, but then because they already had this base of people, because they don't really have anything else to watch, they subscribed to like this person because there was like 10 people to choose from. So they have grew, and then at the moment where YouTube started actually rewarding their creators, they already had this huge base that it was kind of like,
yeah, it's like
so
a lottery
easy for them to grow further because they already have this viewership.
Yeah. So YouTube is giving you more because you have a bigger audience. You actually have subscribers, which is hard because a lot of YouTubers just have views. They don't necessarily have these people who want to be notified when they get, you know, the next video and follow. So these are 24,000 people who are expecting you to put content. They are showing their love to you. It doesn't cost them a thing. As a person who uses YouTube rather than posts on YouTube, it doesn't cost me, right?
Yeah.
But and still you feel so selective who you want to subscribe to, because it usually means a lot of noise in the background, a lot of information. Are you making money otherwise? I mean, is this a power for you to come to, I don't know, the Bay and say, look, I have this amazing channel. I have a ton of people watching me. How about plugging some of the trends coming from you?
The number of subscribers does help you do that. Because if you are just a nobody, then big companies don't really have the ability to say, yes, let's do it. But once you have some sort of a base, some kind of a following, then people are like, okay. Yeah, that's proof. Okay, so then maybe you can create quality content for us and it is worth our time. On YouTube, usually little brands would come to me. They're like, can you mention us? Maybe we'll send you a product. Usually it's a product-based deal, especially when you start out. Sure, the products might be enticing and you totally want to try it out because you're like, oh, I want some free things. But then you need to think about, oh, would this hurt me? I have no idea what this brand is about. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I don't want to put my name on the line just for this $20 thing that they're going to be sending me. And it's difficult. And once again, I've put myself out there that I don't want to encourage new purchases for no reason. So I am trying to be very diligent to what brands I agree to work with.
A lot of the discussions, even at university, has been like, everybody's looking at all of these influencers on Instagram. You can't believe the content anymore because you know there's some sort of financial agreement in the back.
I feel that like marketing has changed it for the worst, because those influencers used to be fashion bloggers. They used to show their own style. They didn't really get anything from it. It was just their passion project. They would show people how they mix and match different brands together to show their own personal creativity through the clothing. But now it's basically, here you go. A brand gives an entire outfit, they try it on, they show how glamorous their life is, and they get money for it. And what kind of value do we have? Yes, it looks amazing. People are like, yeah, I want to live that life, but you don't really get anything out of it. So we have this consumption of fast food kind of content that doesn't really do anything for us, and kind of like just takes out the value out of the post. For instance, if back in the day we had these just fashion gurus that talked about their body, there was more inclusivity with all these different people. Now brands have a choice to have. There are so many Instagram models that they all look the same, and brands are like, well, this one is more aligned with our brand because we have the size for it.
So they go for the skinny models and the young
and
models,
they look
right?
the same. There is
and
no
their
value
Instagrams
again.
look the same. I sometimes feel when you're so young, you still don't have really a strong perspective. I mean, again, it's generalizing, but there's something about it that it's like, hey, I'm having drinks with friends. Here is me looking gorgeous in a tiny little skirt, out in town. And I'm like, of course, you're 18. Of course, you're going to be gorgeous and have a nice time
Yes.
out. You don't have any troubles. You still don't know who you are. You don't have, a mortgage and a husband and kids and a car. So, and I actually feel that more inspirational. I agree. I think that it's more it's a peeping kind of time now. I feel like people are just peeking into people's lives, and the authority has been lost.
The reason I was talking about maybe potentially not being able to pursue YouTube, it's very time consuming. Like just the style of my videos. I wouldn't say it might be time consuming for everybody, but the quality of content that I create, the research, the editing,
I don't feel it's not paying off enough.
Yes, so I would say that I make less than minimum wage. Thinking like I am studying, right? I'm going to college, I work, I am a mom, and I have this YouTube. Right now, my life is very chaotic. I don't really have time for anything. Whenever I come home from anything, I'm at the computer, either studying or doing YouTube. And it got so bad. I used to have my office like in a crawl space, so I would disappear there forever. During the summer, my kids never saw me. I was there working. And I don't want that life. I want my kids to see their mom, for me to not only cook for them, but actually to have time to spend time together. I was hoping that my following would grow much more so I could earn more and maybe cut out work out of the equation.
Yeah, so you can only do YouTube.
Yes. So that is why I started to talk about this issue with my followers, with my subscribers. Maybe they can help me out. A word of mouth is, I feel like, the most incredible marketing, because you trust the person that you're talking to. They're not earning anything from what they're telling you. They're kind of just sharing what they enjoy, and you can trust that.
I didn't know you, and I feel it. I feel the amount of research. I feel the seriousness. I feel that it's not childish. Mm-hmm. It's mature in the content and how it's delivered. It's very practical. I understand why you have these followers. It's not a question to me.
I really don't want to stop YouTube. It's just, I can't force myself to give less quality. Everybody could just turn on a show and just comment on it. What value does it bring? Not really a lot, unless you're only one designer and that's it.
I agree. I understand the frustration. So for 5 years to find yourself in a job which still pays minimum wage, it's very frustrating. You would want to be in a better level at the moment. And yes. I think the amount of time you invest in something, especially when it starts as a hobby, but it becomes a very serious passion, you want to convert it into a job.
Exactly.
You want to say, I'm a YouTuber and here, this is what I do for a living. So I really get the pluses about it. I also get where you want to ask yourself okay, I've been doing it for 5 years, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can be the next evolution? Is this my hat? Is this the one thing I'm going to be doing? So I need to have a business plan because it's
Mm-hmm.
already a business? Or am I keeping it on a really back burner and maybe find my next career?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see what you do next. Maria, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. This was amazing.
Oh, I love it.
All right.
See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.
Stay classy. Bye.